December is supposed to be when the NBA settles into its rhythm. Contenders separate from pretenders, stars find their mid-season form, and the Christmas Day slate delivers pure theater. But December 2013 refused to play by the script. Instead, it gave us a month overflowing with shocks, history, and holiday magic. A snapshot of a league that could pivot from heartbreak to exhilaration overnight. This video is brought to you by Fours. Love word games but tired of playing the same ones over and over? Fours is here, and it is an instant classic. Download for free on Google Play. The first week brought sobering news for two franchises with playoff ambitions. In New Orleans, Anthony Davis, the sophomore big man who was rapidly becoming the Pelicans' cornerstone, fractured his hand while attempting a dunk. His defensive instincts and shot blocking had already made him a nightmare for opponents. His absence left a gaping hole in a young team trying to build momentum. Over in Brooklyn, the veteran-laden Nets watched Paul Pierce suffer a similar injury. The 36-year-old had joined Kevin Garnett and Deron Williams in a much-hyped super team experiment. But December reminded everyone that even seasoned legends are vulnerable. Pierce's fractured hand added to Brooklyn's growing list of setbacks, further clouding a season that was already teetering under lofty expectations. But as veterans fell, youth roared. On December 3rd, in an unassuming matchup between the Philadelphia 76ers and Orlando Magic, two rookies turned an otherwise forgettable game into a historical moment. Michael Carter-Williams and Victor Oladipo both recorded triple-doubles, the first time in league history that two rookies accomplished the feat in the same game. Carter-Williams, a lanky point guard with court vision beyond his years, controlled the pace with surgical precision. Oladipo, the explosive combo guard out of Indiana, attacked relentlessly. The game wasn't a battle between title contenders, but it was a preview of the league's future. Two rookies showing poise and production rarely seen in players so young. For fans of rebuilding teams, it was a reason to believe. The NBA's global ambitions took a bizarre turn just a day later. The Spurs and Timberwolves had traveled to Mexico City for an international showcase designed to expand the league's reach. Fans packed the arena, cameras were ready, and then smoke. A malfunctioning generator filled the venue with haze before tip-off. Players were evacuated, the crowd was dismissed, and the game was canceled.
It was a surreal moment, a reminder that even billion-dollar organizations can't control every variable. The game was eventually rescheduled in Minnesota, and the Spurs and Timberwolves were ushered to secure areas away from the smoky court. The night was reduced to an odd footnote in NBA history.
Back stateside, one team was busy rewriting expectations. The Portland Trail Blazers, once considered a fringe playoff squad, kept winning, and winning big. In December, they held on to the top seed in the West with a blistering 17-3 start. Damian Lillard's sophomore leap, paired with LaMarcus Aldridge's steady dominance, gave Portland a dynamic inside-out attack. Nicholas Batum and Wesley Matthews provided spacing and defense, and veteran Mo Williams stabilized the bench. For a franchise that had spent years haunted by injuries and near misses, Portland's December was a statement. The Blazers weren't just a feel-good story, they were a force. Quiet excellence had its moment too. Kyle Korver, the Atlanta Hawks specialist, made at least one three-pointer in his 90th consecutive game, breaking Dana Barros's long-standing NBA record. Korver wasn't flashy, but the record spoke volumes. Consistency at an elite level, night after night, in a league where defenses are designed to snuff out specialists. His smooth shooting motion and impeccable spacing were as much a weapon for Atlanta as any star's isolation play. The league held its breath on December 8th. Kobe Bryant returned from his torn Achilles. The Staples Center crowd rose as one, holding signs and phones aloft. Kobe wasn't yet his old self. His first game back was rusty, with turnovers and tentative moves, but it didn't matter. His mere presence electrified the league, a living reminder of resilience. But hope quickly turned to heartbreak. Just 6 games later, Kobe fractured his knee, an injury that would sideline him again and raise difficult questions about his longevity. The Lakers' season, already fragile, unraveled further. For fans, it was a harsh reality. Even legends aren't invincible. December also brought front office drama. The Toronto Raptors traded Rudy Gay to the Sacramento Kings, ending an era of high-usage, low-efficiency offense in Toronto. For the Raptors, the move cleared cap space and set the stage for the Kyle Lowry-DeMar DeRozan backcourt to flourish. In Sacramento, pairing Gay with DeMarcus Cousins and Isaiah Thomas was a gamble. Could a new trio change the Kings' fortunes? The trade's ripple effects would later reshape Toronto into a perennial contender. If December belonged to anyone, it was Damian Lillard. The sophomore guard's reputation for late-game heroics exploded with back-to-back game-winning shots, first against the Detroit Pistons, then the Cleveland Cavaliers. Neither was a fluke. They were deliberate, confident daggers. Lillard's calm demeanor under pressure announced him as one of the league's emerging clutch performers and proved that Portland's surge wasn't just Aldridge's doing. He was the closer every contender needs. Christmas is the NBA's unofficial showcase, and 2013 delivered in spades. In Los Angeles, the Heat and Lakers faced off in a holiday showdown. Though Kobe was sidelined, the Heat brought fireworks. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James connected for two breathtaking alley-oops, soaring through the air like they'd rehearsed it on a Hollywood set. It was vintage Miami, a duo at the peak of its synergy. In New York, Russell Westbrook dominated Madison Square Garden with a triple-double, leading the Thunder to a win over the Carmelo Anthony-less Knicks. Westbrook's relentlessness was a reminder of OKC's championship aspirations, until, days later, the Thunder announced he needed another knee surgery, casting a shadow over their season. December wasn't done making headlines off the court. Michael Jordan, now owner of the Charlotte franchise, officially unveiled the new Hornets logo, confirming the team's impending return to its beloved name and branding. Fans in Charlotte, who had endured the Bobcats' years, celebrated the news as a restoration of history and identity. On the hardwood, Dirk Nowitzki continued his quiet climb up the all-time scoring list, passing Alex English for 13th place. It was a subtle milestone, but for basketball purists, it was another reminder of Dirk's place among the game's greatest shooters and pioneers. The month's cruelest blow came in Atlanta. Al Horford tore his pectoral muscle, ending his season and effectively gutting the Hawks' playoff hopes. For a franchise that relied on Horford's two-way presence, it was devastating. Looking back, December 2013 encapsulated the NBA's essence: unpredictability. Superstars like Kobe and Westbrook were felled by injury just as their teams found their stride. Role players like Korver etched their names into the record books. Rising stars like Lillard seized the spotlight, and rookies Carter Williams and Oladipo reminded us that the future can arrive in a single night. Even the league's off-court ambitions, the Mexico City experiment and Jordan's Hornets revival, spoke to a sport constantly evolving, reaching outward while honoring its roots. December was more than just a collection of highlights. It was a month where every storyline seemed to shift, reminding fans that the NBA is a living, breathing drama.